So in the previous lesson, we talked about parallelograms, and today we're going to focus on there are three special types of parallelograms, and they are a rhombus, a rectangle, and a square. So we're going to kind of talk about all three of those different types of parallelograms. So first we're going to focus on is a rhombus, and a rhombus is a parallelogram, and it has four congruent sides. Your rhombus corollary tells you that a quadrilateral is a rhombus. This IFF, we haven't talked about this phrase in a while, but it stands for if and only if. If you remember way back, we did that in chapter 2. So IFF stands for if and only if. So if you aren't going to remember that IFF stands for that, just write out if and only if rather than writing out IFF. But quadrilateral is a rhombus if and only if it has four congruent sides. So if some sort of parallelogram has four congruent sides, it is a rhombus. It has to be a rhombus. And then I did include a picture of a rhombus in here as well, just in case maybe you forgot what a rhombus looks like. So it looks like a parallelogram. It's tilted onto its side, and then it does have those four congruent sides. So that would be what a rhombus would look like. Then we have a few different theorems that kind of deal with rhombuses. So the first two, theorem 8.11 and 8.12, both start off the exact same way. A parallelogram is a rhombus if and only if. Theorem 8.11 tells us that its diagonals are perpendicular. So if the diagonals in a parallelogram are perpendicular, it has to be a rhombus. And that's an example of what it would look like if you draw on the diagonals. They are going to be perpendicular to one another. And then each diagonal bisects a pair of opposite angles. And that one's a little bit kind of confusing, so I'm actually going to draw out the image for this one. So there would be my rhombus. I'm going to draw in my diagonals. Your rhombus is still a parallelogram, so the opposite angles are still congruent, but your diagonals are bisecting every angle, which means that these two angles are congruent. And those two angles are congruent because in general those two angles are opposite angles, but both of them are being bisected by that diagonal. So you have four congruent angles. And the same thing happens with the other two opposite angles as well. You have four other congruent angles. So rhombuses for the most part have a lot of congruent angles. And then the converse of theorem 8.11, so I kind of mentioned this before, if the diagonals of a parallelogram are perpendicular, then it is a rhombus. The only type of parallelogram that has perpendicular diagonals is a rhombus. So if it's asking you to like identify the parallelogram or something and you automatically see that the diagonals are perpendicular, you can just say it's a rhombus. It has to be a rhombus. So now we're going to talk about rectangles, and a rectangle is a parallelogram and it has four right angles. And your rectangle corollary, a quadrilateral is a rectangle if and only if it has four right angles. And that's actually true for all quadrilaterals, not just parallelograms, which is why it says quadrilateral in the corollary, and in the definition it says a parallelogram. They're kind of interchangeable because it's the only type of quadrilateral that will have four right angles. And then I did include a picture of a rectangle in case you may have forgotten what a rectangle looks like. And there's one theorem about rectangles, and that is that the diagonals are congruent to one another. So if I just kind of labeled my rectangle there and I drew in my diagonals. Oop. Let's try to redo that one a little bit better. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, that's better. So your diagonals are congruent to each other, so AC is congruent to DB. And that's only true for rectangles, so if you see that the diagonals are congruent in an image, you can automatically say that it is a rectangle. And the last special type of parallelogram is a square, and it's a parallelogram that has four congruent sides and four right angles. So your square corollary, it the quadrilateral is a square if and only if it is both a rhombus and a rectangle. So kind of how I was saying before, all of the theorems that kind of work with them, if you like for theorem 8.13, if you see that the diagonals are congruent, you can automatically say that it is a rectangle. A square is considered a rectangle, so even if the image is a square, you're still kind of covering your bases there by saying it's a rectangle. Which gets people confused a little bit, but we're going to kind of do a chart a little bit later in the chapter, and hopefully that will kind of help you out when you're trying to figure out some of these things. So there's a picture of a square in case you forgot what a square looks like, but since a square is both a rhombus and a rectangle, it has all of the same properties as a rhombus and as a rectangle as well. So like I said, like the diagonals will be congruent in a square, just like the other two theorems for the rhombus. The diagonals will also be perpendicular, and the diagonals also bisect on the opposite angles. It's also considered a parallelogram, so it has all the properties of a parallelogram. So there's a lot of components to squares. So people usually think that they're the most basic geometry shape, but they're actually one of the most complicated just because of all the properties that they have. So squares, like I said, people think that they're pretty easy, but they're actually a little bit more complicated than you would think. There aren't really many examples of problems. Your assignment for this section is actually going to focus more so on identifying the pictures, like stating if statements are true or false based on the type of parallelogram they're giving you. You'll kind of see when you start working on it. So there's not too many problems that go along with this section. It's mostly just a lot of using the theorems and knowing what they say. Before we go, I would like to give you your code word. And your code word for this screencast is Easter. Once again, your code word is Easter. So if you have any questions on this section, please let me know. But other than that, you can work on the assignment. Make sure that you enter in the code word for this assignment and upload a picture of your work for the 8.4 assignment as well.